And so you see that he's really shaky. Anyone is shaky, you know. When you go out there in the battlefield or in a place where bullets are being fired, you'll see you are scared. And any bullet that comes is going to hit you, is going to hurt you. Now, tell me, if you were given a bulletproof vest, will that help you become a little bit more confident? A little bit, right? At least it gives you an idea that, you know what, I'm protected. Now, let's say if you were given a full bulletproof armor that no bullet can hurt you, no matter where it hits. Now, that will give you a lot of confidence. If you get to know that no one can harm your life and take it away from you, that's the same feeling of confidence a person has. I'm confident nothing's going to happen to me. I am fine. I am fine. And when you understand that, then you understand that, you know what? If death is just a door that takes me from one room to another, whether the door is here or one room later, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I have to go there anyway. That's where I belong. And hence what happens is that then you gain the confidence of overcoming the fear of death. If a person doesn't believe in life, he will never conquer the fear of death. And the fear of death will overwhelm his life, and really his life will just be led in this fear and will never amount to greatness. A person cannot become great by fearing death. He'll become good. Yes, it'll help you to rectify yourself and you'll become good, but you'll never become great. You become great when you understand life and start believing in your life. That's where greatness comes in. That's where people achieve that amazing result of success. The people who died with Imam Hussein did not conquer death. They started to believe in their lives. And death really had no meaning then for them. It was just nothing. But if they had feared death, it will become so overwhelming that they would never go forward with it. And this is something that we need to understand about life. Things about life, as I'm explaining to you, are things that when a person understands this, that's what happens. Now, the height of life is what you achieve of this life. What do you want to be in the hereafter, in your real life, depends on what you do right here and what you achieve right here. That's why if you want to achieve greatness, then you have to live life that way. A misunderstanding amongst people is that life, we need to sacrifice this life for that life. And by that they mean, do not enjoy anything here. Abstain yourself from any enjoyment here so that you can get it in the hereafter. Now this has led a lot of people down the tube into a really bad situation. So let me explain that. We said a salawats. You know, when a person starts abstaining from things and runs away from what Allah is giving him and stays away and thinks that this is some sort of taqwa, which it's not. He thinks that this is some sort of a way that he becomes pious by doing that. He does not. If that's what Allah wanted, He wouldn't have given it to you. The reason Allah gives it to you is not that so that you run away from it, so that you take it and learn how to control it. The idea of having a knife is not to run away from the knife, but to hold it and know how to use it, what to do with it. The same thing, Allah gives all the blessings to us. Whether He gives a job, a business, money, whatever He gives us, is so that we take it and know how to use it, how to conquer that, not to run away from it. Running away from it is not a sign of taqwa, it's a sign of cowardice. It's a sign of a person being a coward. Someone who has it and is able to really play with it and control it is someone who is brave. Someone who's brave. And it's brave people, you see that the way they live their life is always on the edge. They're always happy, they're always enjoying, they're always having fun. And when you look at those people, you're like, you're not religious. Really? Okay, fine. Whatever that means. But the fact is that those who are brave never are afraid. It's people who fear, you see, never do these things. Why? They're always afraid of something. They're afraid of their reputation being lost. They're afraid of the opinion of people. They're afraid of criticism of other people. They're always afraid, and these fears is what's making them stay in a cave, never grow up. Now, what happens with such people is that they might achieve things in life, but they can never achieve the greater things Allah has in store for human beings. So, people who are coward and run away from what requires courage and requires you to get things and use it and then live life like that, those people you see achieve the greater things in life. For example, shahadat. Shahadat is not for the meek and the cowards. You don't become shaheed running away from the battlefield and someone shoots you with an arrow in the back. People call those people shaheed, but you never wanted to fight and you're running away and you got hit in the back. Really, shuhada, the ones who face danger, take the arrow in their heart and in their chest. And they are like that. And when you look at these shuhada, who are these shuhada? They are the ones who lived their life to the full. Their life had lots of value. By value, what I mean is this. Let me explain that so it doesn't become like lost on you. By value, what I mean is that when people see him, they become envious. Wow, this guy has a lot. This guy is something else. He has all these things. He's so happy, he's so successful, he's so this. When you look at a person like that and people look at you like that, and you're so successful, you're this, you're that, and they admire you for that. Now what happens is this. Then a person like that has more to lose. Reputation, he has reputation to lose. Money, he has money to lose. Dunya, he has dunya to lose. So someone who has dunya stands the chance of losing dunya. Now sacrifice is what? The more you have, the more you lose. The more you sacrifice, the greater is your sacrifice. If you have no dunya, then what are you sacrificing? If you have nothing to lose, you don't stand to lose anything. You're not sacrificing anything. So for example, if I can't find, if I can't find happiness in this dunya, then I'm saying, you know what? I'm just going to lose it, and inshallah I'll get akhirat. In akhirat I'll get happiness. But what does that mean? So, what are you sacrificing then? My sadness and my misery? I'm sacrificing my misery. You're not happy. And a person like that, what's he going to sacrifice? There's nothing to sacrifice. So he's escaping here. He's running away from here. He's not giving anything up for Allah. Because you have nothing to give up. You have nothing to give up. Make it dunya for yourself so that when you sacrifice it, it has value. that your giving up has value, that you gave up these things. You know, Zuhaib. If you look at Zuhaib, right, he was a European companion of the Prophet. Blonde haired, blue eyes, you know, European guy who used to be with the Prophet, right? He came to the Prophet. But you know how he came to the Prophet? He was a rich businessman, very wealthy man in Mecca. Very wealthy. He had lots of money. And so what happened is that when the Prophet migrated, he followed the Prophet. And they caught him. They caught him. And so now he had a choice to go back to Mecca and, you know, live, because he has wealthy. He has slaves. He has everything. He has a mansion. So what he did is that he says, listen, I'll make a deal with you. I'll give all my wealth to you. All my mansions, you take them all. Let me go. So the captors who were there, they're like, wow, he has a lot of money here. Give us that. So they let him go, and they had him, and he went to the Prophet penniless. He came to Medina penniless, and when he met Rasulullah, then Rasulullah told him, you have made a great deal. His stature in the eyes of Rasulullah is different than someone who has nothing and is running away. Is nothing and running away. So they're good people who have nothing and run away. They're not bad for doing that. They're good people. But great people are the ones who had and they gave it up. So in order for you to achieve greatness, you need to have something. And the greater greatness you want, the greater height you want, you need to have that much more. So my friends, the reason Allah created the life of this world is not to run away from it, but to get so much of it that when you have to sacrifice it for your real life, you're ready to do so. This is the way to live a life here. The way that you live a life here is not by running away and escaping and hiding and just making this miserable face and saying that I'm a muttaqi person. No, you don't do that. What you do is that you conquer this dunya. You take it in its hand and then divorce it. Imam Ali divorced the dunya. He didn't run away from it. Divorce means that you got married to it first. You had it. And then you divorced it. When Imam Ali said, I divorce you, it means that he had it. And he's divorcing it. Not that he didn't have it. If he didn't have it, we'll ask, Maulana, what are you divorcing? You never had it in the first place. The fact is, when Imam Ali said that, it means he has it. He has dunya. He has everything dunya can offer him. And then he kicks it out of his house. He leaves it. This is greatness. And Allah wants us, human beings, to be great. That's why He put us in this life and gave us these blessings, not to run away from them, but to receive from Him and become the better receiver of knowing that I got it from Allah and I'm ready to give it back to Him. I got it from Him and I'm able to sacrifice this. This is, my friends, the way to greatness. That's why when you look at the Shuhada with Imam Hussein, you recognize that in them. You recognize that in them. Ali Akbar was not someone who had nothing. No, he was the most capable person you can find in that whole and everywhere, anywhere in the world you see. The most capable, the most able, the person who had the best capacity for everything, the most looked upon, the most, you can say, sought after person in that whole field. That's why his sacrifice means a lot. He sacrificed a lot. Imam Hussein sacrificed a lot, losing a son like Ali Akbar. It's not that easy. Friends, the higher you go, that's why the sacrifice means something. The way to live our life here is when Allah gives His blessings, you receive it from Allah. And you thank Him for it. And you utilize it and use it until you become a stature that everyone looks at you and looks up to you and admires you for it. And then when you reach that place, that's when you say that this is not worth anything. This is not worth anything. This is the way of growth. You want to grow higher? You want to make yourself great? That's how you live your life here in this world. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The issue is that mediocre people cannot understand greatness. They cannot deal with it. Whenever a person is mediocre, you will see that he is a slave of dunya, that anything that happens, he's like holding on to it, scared of losing it. That person doesn't understand greatness. In fact, he looks at it and he's scared of it. He's scared of people who are great. Because to him, these people have no fears. And when you have no fear, you're dangerous and you're going to put everyone else in danger. There's a lot of fear in them like that. And what happens is that when you have those fears, how can you ever conquer those things that are bringing fear into you? If money is so important to you that you can't lose it, and that you're willing to hurt others to make sure that you don't lose it, then you will never be able to conquer money. Money is ruling you. It has enslaved you. You are just a slave now of money. Relationships, same thing. If relationships are so important for you that you will sacrifice your deen in order to save relationships, how in the world are you going to sacrifice those relationships for Allah's sake? You can't, because the person who's doing that is a mediocre person. Allah doesn't want us to be mediocre. He wants us to conquer our relationships, conquer our dunya, have it and conquer it, and then control it and say that I am in charge of this. You're not going to make me do things. Money, you are not. I am in charge. You're mine. I will use you the way I want to. You will not use me and sway my opinion. You are nothing. You are my property. That's where we need to be with this dunya. Dunya, you are my property. I can spend you the way I want. And when a person has that attitude, then he will start understanding what greatness is. What makes Imam Ali great? What makes him great? We think that, he ripped up the door of Khaybar and this and that. No, really, those are like little things he has achieved. Little things he has done. The ultimate achievement of Imam Ali is the fact that he was the master. Everything was his slave. He was the master of what he owned. He was the wali of what he owned. No one else made him change his way. He was the one who changed what he had and gave it away. This is greatness. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now, when we came to the width of, this is the height of life. And that's how you live your life here in order to achieve greatness there. Now, the width of life is the possibilities that you have. How much is it possible for you to utilize and to use Allah's blessings? How much can you receive from Allah? Allah wants to give you everything. But can you receive it? How much can you open yourself for that? How much can you unlock your potential? All of these things. So we discussed that the way that you unlock your potential is by obeying Allah. Allah put limitations on you in this life. In this life, He put limitations of Shariat on you in order that it can unlock your ability to receive His blessings in Akhirat. So every time you pray and worship Allah, you are unlocking your ability to receive Allah's blessings. Every time you stay away from haram, you are unlocking your ability to use Allah's blessing. You don't see it here, you will know it there. How big you are and how much you are able to take from Allah is known there, not here. Here you just keep on going until those are open. Now the only question is this. That, okay, if Allah wanted us to use the blessings there and we want to use the blessing there, why did He give these blessings here? I mean, if He didn't give this here, we wouldn't get attracted by them. And if we didn't get attracted by them, we wouldn't be deceived by them. Right? Meaning that, Allah, if you didn't give me that desire here in this world, then I would be looking for the hereafter and living for it. But now that you gave me that desire, you gave me a sweet tooth to eat all the desserts, and you brought the desserts in front of me, that's just too hard of a temptation. Now those sweets and desserts are in front of me, what can I do? If you had kept them away from me, I would have dreamed of the akhirat, I will get my desserts there. But isn't this, detrimental for us? That we have all these desserts in front of us right here, which makes us fall down? Allah, why did you give it here then? And that's what I answered for you. Simple, my friends. Allah did not give it to you here so that you can run away from it. He gave it to you so that it can be an appetizer. It was meant to be an appetizer. You like, for example, biryani. Is that your final goal? That's it? Is that your height? You don't think that there's a better biryani somewhere? Don't you want to aim higher? If it's there, you might want to aim higher. So the biryani you want is there. Same thing is going to apply to all these things. Everything that we have in this world, Allah has given to us so that we use it, and then we said, Allah, I want more, I want better. Then Allah is saying, very good. Now those more and that greater that you want is not available here. You'll have to wait until you come there. Aim for that then. Not to run away. Salawat ala Muhammad. That's the way it is. And really, and this is what we are about here. We are about achieving greatness here. And greatness, in order to achieve it here, you have to use the blessings Allah has given you, utilize them, conquer them, control them, and use it to achieve greatness. That's the way to do it. You cannot do it by running away. That is not the meaning of taqwa. It is a misnomer. People who really do not have an understanding of deen, they will tell you stay away from these things. Allah never meant that. Ahlul Bayt never thought that. In their life they never did that. If you look at Rasulullah, he partook in every social activity that is meant for human beings. He partook in that. He got married. He had children. He had friends. He had relatives. He had friends. He had a social life. He wasn't running away and hiding from them. He went there, stood with them, sat down with them, spoke to them, and then did not do ghibat. Then did not lie. He wasn't running away and hiding in the mountain and not doing ghibat. That would have been easy. Just stay away from everyone and you will assure yourself that you will never lie in your life. Everyone can do that. He made himself be around people and did not do it. That's the idea. You live your life to the full and then protect yourself from haram. So I will end over here, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq and the blessing to be on the right paths, the wisdom to understand His guidance, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, make us His helper when He comes. Wa akhiru da'wana, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. All right, any questions? Yes.
Then
Yes. The cars. Yes. Yes, the idea is that he has the best house. All of these. Why? Because a muttaqi is someone who can control what he has, not escape from it. Escaping from it shows that you have fear of that. Having it and controlling it is what makes a person brave and courageous and have that awareness of Allah in him. Yes, Akhi.
Can you describe the dimensions in the Akhirah? We have different levels.
Yes.
Rasulullah and all those people are on the top, and then we have.
Right. Yes. You know, the issue is this, right? You know, again, he's writing about the dimensions of Akhirat, right? And hereafter. Yes, just like in Jannat and Jahannam also, right? There are so many different levels. You know, as I said, right? And it's so much diverse than this dunya that it's hard for us to even imagine that. But yes, it's diverse. And hence, the extent of growth that we can have is so much. Is so much. And that's why, you know, we should never stop growing. We should always aim higher. If you achieve a peak, aim higher than that. If you achieve another peak, aim higher than that. Give yourself as much trouble as you can by taking the blessings of Allah and going through the trials that is meant for them. So, in Jannat and Jahannam, there are different levels of so many things. Why? Because Allah is Adil. And Allah has given us, and one of the interesting things is this. You might be very think by that, right? Once I was having a debate with the Christians. And the issue and the topic of the debate was hell, heaven and hell. That was the topic of discussion. Now, there was you can say a person by the name of Clyde. Keep the last name, you know, hidden right now, but Clyde. Clyde was a southerner, you know, from the south. You know, used to work in the Justice Department in Florida, you know, and he used to come to the masjid. He wanted to learn. And so what happened is that he was in the discussion there, right? And as we were having the discussion about heaven and hell, and they explained their part, and I explained Islamic part, and then, you know, we went on, you know, back and forth with the debate and arguments and all these things, right? Clyde asked a question and said, will different people, all the people, are they going to be together in hell and heaven? Or no, is this some other concept of Islam? What does Islam say about this? That are they all of them, all the people in hell are going to be together in one big party? Or in hell in one big party there? You know? I mean, is that the concept Islam has? And no, that's not the concept. Everyone will be at a level that they have reached. It will be individual. There won't be any groups or parties. Everyone will be on their own in whatever level they're at. There might be some other people and their neighbors, you know, who are there. But everyone will be at a different level. And the Christians said, no, everyone's going to be together, just all packed in one concentration camp, right? And that's it. They'll all be in hell, right? And Clyde, being from the Justice Department, he says, you know what? I like the Islamic answer because that makes one more sense. It's logical. It's reasonable that you cannot put everyone together because everyone is different. How can they be all together? It would not make sense. Even here, we have different jails for different people, for different crimes. You have hard crimes, you have soft crimes, you have all these people. You can't put them together. We also understand that here, so to me, God would understand that we human beings are diverse, we're different. And right there and then, you know, he made up his mind to become a Muslim, you know. As we had, and the Christians didn't like that, you know, because they were there also. And they didn't like that, that, he is now deciding to be a Muslim. But it is an interesting fact that it is an Islamic belief that heaven and hell are different levels, and you achieve whatever you achieve in life, and you will be put there, not any higher, not any lower. You are going to achieve that greatness through the efforts you made and the growth that you had, and no one else's. No handouts, no welfare, no bailouts for you, for anyone. You know, it will be all really as much as you striven. Yes.
Imam only described the four types of people. He said there's those that don't know, they don't know, and then those who know, they know. Well, how do you become someone who knows and knows that they know?
That's difficult, right? But what we should do is try to become someone who doesn't know and he knows that he doesn't know. Right? That's the better place for us to be. Someone who knows and he knows that he knows is very difficult. Right? But we should try to become someone who don't know, but we know that we don't know. It will lead to humility, and it will a certain growth in us. Right? So that is, the best way for us to choose. And if Allah wills, and if we do come to a point where we had the opportunity and Allah gives us the tawfiq, then we might become a fraction of those who actually know. Right? Who actually know. Yes.
We're talking about Jannahs and here. So what about before Jannahs in the waiting?
In the waiting, okay, the waiting room, right? It's like when you go to a doctor's office, right? You see there's a waiting room before you see the doctor. Now some doctor's offices are very exciting. They have toys and things that you can play with, and your time goes really fast. Some places, it's like boring, The only material they have to read is where you have to be an actual doctor to understand what is being read, medical articles and all these things. So, if a person was good in his life and did right in his life, then he will be in a waiting period where, he will have enjoyment. And he will be having fun, and he will not know how time is flying. But if you did bad and did wrong, then yes, your waiting period is going to be very tough. It's going to be boring and harmful and hurtful. And you would be like feeling every second heavily.
So out of the subject, was Sayyidah Fatima killed on purpose?
Here's the thing, right? I don't know the purpose, if she was killed, that they intended to kill her, but they did intend to get her out of the way. And obviously, we know that she was killed because of the injuries that were caused. Now you can't say that, okay, he meant for that to happen. I mean, it would be hard for us to know, but because of the fact that the reason that we will blame them for it is that they put her in a situation. By raiding the house and coming inside, they put her in a situation where she was killed because of that. And hence, they are to blame 100%.
But is it possible to say that was an accident?
Here's the thing, right? The reason we don't say it was an accident is because of the fact that Bibi Fatima, right, cursed them. Right? She said, I do not want to meet them. I don't want to know where I am. I don't want to even, have them around me. Now, if they did it by accident, she is not a person who would be unjust with people. They had purpose behind this. And by her reaction, we know that these people who are responsible are 100% guilty of what they have done. So,
They knew that she was behind the door to force the door open and crush her between the door and the wall.
no, I mean, the slave that did that, right? It's the slave who did it. The slave did it. But the thing is that, now, obviously, no one in this room even knows the name of the slave who did it. But but they know the person who ordered the slave to get her out of the way, because she was trying to pull Imam Ali away from them. And as she was trying to pull Imam Ali away from them, the order was given to the slave to go and uh, uh, get her out of the way. So he went there, and then he started to assault her. He was wrapped. His hands were wrapped with people. Just the kids. No, Zubair was there outside. They had already beaten Zubair. These people who came in, right? They beat Zubair. Then they went inside, right? Because Zubair was the only one outside trying to defend, Imam Ali's house, right? And they just like beat him up and walked over him. When he walked inside, they went inside. They came inside, and then they went inside to grab Imam Ali. They all had Imam Ali, and that's where Bi Fatima came and started to grab Imam Ali, and ask. And then they said, to go and. Hmm? What did they try to kill the children? No, they didn't, right? Because they're children. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein were there. They're children, right? They're little. And Imam Hassan was crying when he saw that Bibi Fatima was, beaten like that. He was trying to go there, but they grabbed Imam Hassan. The other soldiers grabbed Imam Hassan. He was just a kid. And Imam Hussein, and both of them were, the second Khalifa was there. Yeah, he was the one who gave the order.
Is Safian or somebody else over there too?
No. This was, they didn't get involved. They were politicians. They didn't get involved. I mean, Abu Sufyan, you're saying, right? No. Abu Sufyan, he didn't get involved with these things. He was just looking, and he would, insinuate, go and do this and do that. Yes. Oh, yeah, of course. He was there, writing. But the people who went there to the house, actually, there's a group of them that went there. Who? Abu Sufyan, yes, he was there. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, their house is attached to the masjid. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they went to another neighborhood, everyone got in the car and went somewhere else.
Actually, Abu Sufyan came to Imam Ali and he told him, if you wish,
yes,
fill this entire place.
Yeah, meaning that he said, Abu Sufyan, after this happened, came to Imam Ali and he told Imam Ali that, listen, I will bring an army to fight with you. You rise up against, Abu Bakr. He came there. Yeah, of course he was playing game. He didn't want to burn any bridge. He said, who knows? If Ali wins, I'll be with him. If they win, I'll be with them, He was playing both sides. He was playing both sides. But the issue is that, yes, it is true, that it was a very dark page in Islamic history, very dark page, that the house of Rasulullah was indignified and atrocities that really then opened the door for greater atrocities that led all the way to Karbala. These things are things that led to Karbala, Otherwise, if the first day this disrespect was not done to the house of Rasulullah, there was no way that the Muslims would ever do anything to the family of the Prophet. But the first stone was thrown. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, here's the thing, right? I will understand you this, right? The person who was in charge, right, used to cry a lot after that. After Bibi Fatima died, he used to cry a lot. And that's why he was known as very muttaqi. Even today, he said that he's a person who always used to cry and shed tears, and if you are insincere, you will never cry, right? Hadith of Imam Baqir alayhi salam, right? He said that a sign of a true munafiq is that he can cry whenever he wants to. He can cry whenever he wants to. A true munafiq is someone you'll see right away he'll start to cry. Oh, and tears come out of his eyes. So Imam Bakr said that if you want to see a true munafiq, you will see that anytime he wants, he can cry. He can control his crying. This is someone who's a true munafiq. So that opened, that made it clear for us that, what? Crying is not something that is a sign of any faith or anything like that, because the person who killed Bibi Fatima, or, the head of the whole insurgents, right? You see that was a person who used to cry so much that people used to respect him for that. Oh, mashallah, he's such a moment person, this and that. But you know what? The crying was not that. I mean, really, it's unfortunate. That people get fooled by that. We should not get fooled by those crocodile tears. At least if history has taught us that, we are not going to get fooled by people who are just going to cry and say, sorry, bro, I need to see your actions and your character right, before we decide to even do that. Yes, son, go ahead.
This is like way off topic, but like, are we allowed to eat kosher meat?
No. We can't eat kosher meat. Kosher meat means the animals that were slaughtered according to Jewish law. That's called kosher. And that is not halal meat. Halal meat is the meat which is slaughtered according to Islamic law. So there's a difference between Islamic law and Jewish law, right? And the way that it's done. So yes, we cannot eat anything that is kosher. That doesn't mean that. Meaning in terms of meat. But not, but if they have like kosher buns and bagels, it's fine. There's no meat in there. Yes? Oh, no, he wasn't even born yet. He wasn't even born yet. This is when Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein were children, little kids. Very good. Alhamdulillah. So let's wrap it up. And inshallah, again, as a reminder, Eid is going to be on Wednesday morning. Right? Yeah, it's for sure. 100%. It's going to be on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. We'll have the prayer, right? It's impossible. It's impossible to see the moon tomorrow night. If anyone says it's a lie, again, and that obviously is there, it'll be a lie if they say it. It's not even in the sky. So if anyone says that they see it, then listen, even if you use a telescope, you can't see it tomorrow, right? There's no way to see it tomorrow, right? And that's scientifically impossible. We follow science, and in science it says you cannot see the moon.
There are only two places on Earth that you could see it with extremely powerful telescope, and usually the public don't have it.
Right. Unless we go to the planetarium, all right? But it's going to be on Wednesday, right? It's not going to be from here. Yes, on Wednesday, right, there's, Eid, inshallah, will be at 9 o'clock. We start at 8:30 with Dua Nutba. We'll have the Eid prayer here, and inshallah, yes, right here. We'll do the Eid prayer here, and inshallah, because we wanted to have it, just keep it here local, this year. And we'll announce about the Eid festival, which will be on weekend, so we'll let everyone know about that. It's going to be exciting. Any other questions? The fitra is going to be $10 each, right, per person. It's $10. On the night of Eid or before the prayer. So if you come here in the morning, there'll be a box over here. You can drop it off there. Yes, right here, we'll have two boxes, Sayyid and non-Sayyid box. You can drop it off there.
You mentioned that Dua Nutba is going to start at 8:15.
8:15, inshallah, Dua Nutba. 8:15 Dua Nutba, we get ready, there'll be snacks and breakfast and all these things, You all can start making lines over here. And we'll open up this place so we can accommodate more people. And inshallah, that's it. And we'll work on it there. We also encourage all the people, that there's a list on the wall over there for people who are helping out the masjid, pay for the expenses. Whatever monthly payment you can do, online payment and anything like that will be helpful for us. The amount doesn't matter. Just whatever amount you want to write down your name and and then we'll be in touch with you. You can see whatever payment you want to make. This will help us. We are trying to raise money so that we can slowly start to accumulate that, so that we can buy a place by with that. Alhamdulillah,
But in the meantime, we need to pay the rent after 6 months.
yes, alhamdulillah, we have paid the rent off for 6 months, so we don't have any rent to pay here for 6 months. you know but that doesn't mean that we should not be making the money. So we want to the only thing that we pay for is the electricity that we are using, and inshallah, we want to save the rest of the money so that we can have a down payment for a place. Inshallah, if it comes up, it will be very good for this area that we have a place of our own, and inshallah, it will be a blessing for all of us and our children in the future. So that's it. Thank you so much. Let's read ziyarat and we'll end it.